gmna uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good night, Montreal.
Gunfire echoed through Côte des Neiges and Pierrefonds-Roxborough during the early hours of Friday, July 31, following reports of shots overnight. Police are investigating the incidents. Antoine Prévost has the full story.
Gunfire erupted in two separate neighborhoods as the city slipped into the early hours of Friday. Around midnight in Côte des Neiges, residents reported a series of sharp cracks that echoed down the main boulevard, prompting several calls to emergency services. Minutes later, a similar barrage of shots rang out in the Pierrefonds-Roxborough district, near the intersection of Boulevard des Laurentides and Rue du Chevalier, where witnesses described a rapid succession of loud bangs. Police responded to both scenes, securing the areas while officers canvassed for witnesses and potential evidence. No injuries have been confirmed at this time, and investigators are still gathering details about the incidents. Antoine Prévost, GMNA News, Côte des Neiges.
Tomorrow, gymnastics legend Nadia Comaneci will join a tribute outside the historic Olympic Stadium, celebrating the 50th anniversary of the 1976 Summer Games. The event marks half a century since the Games where the Romanian star earned the first perfect 10 in Olympic history, a moment that still defines the sport. Organizers say the ceremony will feature archival footage, live music, and remarks from former athletes who competed in Montreal. Fans gathered in the stadium's plaza are expected to watch as Comaneci reflects on her groundbreaking performance and the legacy it left for future generations. The celebration coincides with a series of activities across the city honoring the 1976 Games, highlighting the lasting impact of that summer on sport and culture. City officials will unveil a commemorative plaque at the venue, acknowledging the Games' role in shaping Montreal's international profile.
The province's Environment Ministry announced it will postpone the rollout of the updated flood zone maps that had been slated for tomorrow, August 1, 2026. The delay comes after mayors of the Greater Montreal area pressed for an immediate release, citing a series of recent floods that have left thousands of residents grappling with damaged homes and infrastructure. The new maps would be the first revision since 2019, ending an 8-year gap in official flood risk data. Officials said the postponement allows additional field verification and integration of the latest climate model projections. While the ministry has not provided a new launch date, it affirmed that the revised maps will eventually replace the outdated charts that many municipalities still rely on for planning and emergency response. The decision underscores the province's ongoing challenge to balance scientific accuracy with public safety concerns.
Hundreds of thousands will descend on Montreal this weekend for Osheaga concerts, the Fierté Pride Parade, the Omnium cycling race, and celebrations marking the 50th anniversary of the Olympics. Antoine Prévost has the full story.
Across the city, streets are already buzzing as organizers brace for a weekend that could draw hundreds of thousands of visitors. The Osheaga Music Festival is set to kick off on Saturday with multiple stages lining St. Denis, while the Pride Parade will roll through the gay village, showcasing rainbow flags and marching bands. On Sunday, the Omnium cycling race will wind through downtown streets, drawing athletes from around the world. All of this coincides with commemorations marking the 50th anniversary of the 1976 Olympic Games, with retro displays and special ceremonies at the Olympic Stadium. Officials say the combined lineup of concerts, parades, and sporting events aims to turn Montreal into a non-stop celebration from August 1st through August 2nd. Antoine Prévost, GMNA News, Montreal.
Last night, a large fire broke out at the Notre Dame homeless encampment in the Mercier-Hochelaga-Maisonneuve neighborhood. The Service de Sécurité Incendie de Montréal responded quickly and contained the blaze before it spread to adjacent structures. No injuries were reported among the dozens of occupants sheltering at the densely populated site. Officials said the fire appeared to have started in a makeshift cooking area, though the exact cause remains under investigation. The department noted that incidents at homeless encampments have nearly doubled over the past 12 months, underscoring a broader surge in such emergencies across the city. This event follows a series of similar blazes that have occurred at temporary shelters this year. Fire crews remained on scene through the early morning hours to assess damage and verify that the area was safe for remaining residents.
Later, we'll check on a cat bite that sent 3 Montreal residents to rabies treatment and see how that unfolds. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
Good night, Montreal. Monterrey public health officials announced that 3 residents will begin post-exposure prophylaxis today after being bitten by a cat confirmed to carry rabies. The department said the cat, found in the Monterrey region near the island, tested positive for the virus during routine testing. All 3 bite victims are receiving the standard series of rabies vaccine injections, which health authorities administer to prevent the disease once exposure is verified. Rabies, a viral infection transmitted through the saliva of infected animals, remains fatal if symptoms develop, prompting immediate treatment after any suspected exposure. The public health team emphasized that the vaccine regimen is most effective when started promptly, and they are monitoring the patients for any adverse reactions. No further cases have been reported so far in the area at this time.
On July 31, 2026, the National Bank open draw placed Felix Auger-Aliassime in the same quarter as Flavio Caballi in Montreal. Camille Dowsett has the full story.
Felix Auger-Aliassime discovers his path at the National Bank, Open, now slots both players into the same quarter of the men's singles bracket. The Canadians' home crowd will be watching closely, knowing a win here could set up a high-stakes encounter before the quarterfinals. Caballi, who entered the tournament on a hot streak, will be looking to upset the local favorite early in the event. Organizers confirmed the matchup Tuesday, and both athletes have already spoken about the challenge of facing a compatriot in the early rounds. The atmosphere at the Stade IGA is electric, with fans lining the courtside. The National Bank Open, alternating each year between Montreal and Toronto, draws the top talent and turns the city's streets into a festival of sport. Camille Dowsett, GMNA News, Montreal.
Authorities responded this morning to a heavy truck that tipped onto its side on the A13 ramp. The driver, whose identity has not been released, was seen traveling at excessive speed before the vehicle lost control and overturned. Emergency crews arrived quickly, stabilized the truck, and extracted the driver, who was evaluated for injuries at a nearby hospital. The ramp remained closed for several hours while investigators documented the scene and cleared debris, causing delays for commuters heading toward the South Shore. Police noted that this incident adds to a series of recent heavy truck overturns on the island's highways, prompting renewed scrutiny of speed compliance for large commercial vehicles. The Transport Safety Board has opened an investigation to assess whether road conditions or vehicle maintenance played a role. No other vehicles were involved, and traffic resumed once the site was declared safe.
Osheaga has rolled out a strict bag policy for this weekend's 3-day lineup at Parc Jean-Drapeau. Attendees will be limited to clear plastic bags no larger than 24 inches, with all other bags subject to inspection or refusal at entry. The rule applies to everyone seeing headliners such as Tate McRae, Lord and Wolf Parade. Organizers say the measure aims to speed security checks and keep the festival grounds safe. Fans arriving early are advised to pack only essentials and leave larger items at home. The policy is part of a broader set of new rules announced as the festival kicks off on July 31st and runs through August 2nd. Staff will be on hand near the main gates to guide guests through the new procedures. Security teams will monitor each entrance, and anyone refusing the bag check will be turned away without a refund.
Montreal police have issued a warning about the lug nut challenge, an online trend urging youths to loosen wheel nuts, a practice that can cause accidents and attract criminal charges. Simon Fortier has the full story.
Police are warning that a social media trend called the lug nut challenge is prompting young people to loosen the nuts on car wheels, a stunt that can cause the wheels to detach while driving. The Sûreté du Québec says the activity not only creates a serious risk of crashes, but also exposes participants to criminal charges for endangering public safety. Officials noted the challenge has been spreading across several platforms, drawing attention from teenagers looking for risky online attention. They urge anyone seeing the behavior to report it and remind drivers to keep their vehicles secured. The message comes as authorities step up efforts to curb dangerous internet dares today, immediately. Simon Fortier, GMNA News, Montreal.
Now let's hand it over to our meteorologist for a quick look at tonight's conditions.
A stagnant ridge and a sluggish jet keep Montreal dry, while temperatures linger near seasonal highs. The all-time July high for Montreal sits at 30.5 Celsius, recorded during the 2019 heat wave that pushed the province into record-breaking warmth. The coldest July day fell to 11.5 Celsius in 2021, when an Arctic surge slipped far south and snapped the usual summer thaw. By contrast, climate normals peg the average high near 26 Celsius and the average low around 19. So tonight's 23 degrees feels comfortably warm compared with the historic extremes, yet still below the long-term July average. The live radar shows a blank canvas across southern Quebec. No echoes trace any rain, and reflectivity is uniformly low. This emptiness mirrors the high pressure anchored over the St. Lawrence Basin, holding moisture aloft and suppressing lift. With the jet stream streaming from the northwest at 98 kilometers per hour, any disturbance would be sheared eastward, but none is present. The calm will linger through the night, keeping the map quiet. At 11 p.m. Montreal sits at 23 Celsius under partly cloudy skies, with humidity lingering at 83% and a light southerly breeze of 5 kilometers per hour. Pressure remains near average and steady, so the air mass is neither being forced upward nor pulled apart, preserving the mild night. Overhead, the jet stream races from the northwest at 98 kilometers per hour, acting like a conveyor belt that will keep any future disturbances moving east before they can reach us. With no rain on the radar and the high remaining intact, tonight will stay dry and the temperature will dip only to 19 by sunrise. UV index registers 6 for the day, and wind stays below 25 kilometers per hour, so no wind advisory is needed. No weather alerts are in effect as we head into the early morning. Saturday will hold a high of 27 Celsius and a low of 19, with clouds thickening into overcast by afternoon. Sunday's temperature climbs to 28, the sky stays overcast, and a 70% chance of rain will drench the city in the evening. Monday repeats the 28 warmth, yet a 75% rain probability will dominate, forcing brief breaks in the clouds. Tuesday eases back to a high of 28 and a low of 18 under overcast skies, but the rain threat drops to low odds, keeping the day mostly dry. Wednesday rounds the stretch with a high of 28, a low of 21, partly cloudy skies, and a 65% chance of rain in the late afternoon. The persistent jet stream from the northwest will sprinkle rain windows throughout the week. And that's your weather. Remember, the wrap is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Amazon Music or wherever you get your podcasts.
Coming up, we'll break down today's traffic, preview tonight's festival lineup, and catch the Habs. New blue line depth. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
And now here's Jason with sports.
The Canadiens have decisions to make, and this offseason is far from quiet. Arbor Xhekaj's future in Montreal is the question of the moment. The Canadiens must decide what role, if any, he holds on this blue line going forward. Meanwhile, the front office is earning high marks for cap management, ranking second league-wide for spending efficiency. And congratulations to Samuel Montembeault, now a proud new father. Kent Hughes is building this roster the right way, earning not inheriting. The Canadiens' blue line is deeper than it has ever been under this front office, and Martin St. Louis is not handing out roles based on history. Over in Laval, new Rocket head coach Daniel Jacob inherits a significantly overhauled roster. Depth first, and it starts now. Sportsnet ranks Montreal's under-25 core number 1 in the entire league, and that foundation shapes every trade conversation. The Gazette is asking whether Kirill Marchenko is worth a significant return. That question matters. Depleting a top-ranked young core to win now is a front office crossroads worth watching closely all summer.
Good night, Montreal. Former Quebec Tourism Minister Diane Pralx has been ordered to pay $60,000 after her intervention led to the cancellation of a Harvest Ministries International anti-abortion gathering. Elise Marchand has the full story.
The former Quebec Tourism Minister, Julie Pralx, has been ordered to pay $60,000 after her intervention led to the cancellation of an anti-abortion rally organized by Harvest Ministries International. A provincial court found that Praux's actions forced the event's abrupt shutdown, prompting the ministry to seek damages for the disruption. The ruling cites the minister's use of her official influence to halt the gathering, which had been slated for a downtown venue. Harvest Ministries International will receive the awarded sum, covering costs incurred from venue bookings and promotional expenses. The hearing took place on Saturday, 1st of August, and the judgment was delivered that afternoon. Both parties said they will consider appeals. Elise Marchand, GMNA News, Montreal.
Quebec flower grower claimant Rivard Hiller of Origin Fleurs says local cut flowers receive minimal shelf space and are unlabeled in St. Joseph du Lac stores, limiting consumer awareness. Elise Marchand has the full story.
Claimants Rivard Hiller of Origin Fleurs says the province's homegrown cut flowers are cramped into tiny sections of retail shelves, often tucked behind imported bouquets. She notes that the few local stems that do make it onto the floor are piled together in unmarked bins, leaving shoppers unable to tell which stems are Quebec grown. Rivard Hiller points out that without clear labeling, consumers can't choose locally sourced blooms, even when they're present. The result, she says, is a steady flow of foreign bouquets dominating the aisles while Quebec growers struggle for visibility. She is urging retailers to carve out more dedicated space and add simple tags so shoppers can spot homegrown flowers. Elise Marchand, GMNA News, St. Joseph du Lac.
Thank you, Montreal, for joining us on the wrap. Tonight's highlight was Nadia Comaneci's return for the 50th anniversary Olympic celebration, a true inspiration. We appreciate your trust and look forward to bringing you more stories tomorrow. Stay safe, stay curious, and see you then. Enjoy the weekend festivities and keep an eye on the city's vibrant pulse.